You ready?
6th Street, 8th Street, Mathis, go farther south, then Mathis.
Yes. Carrie, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Oh, righty, here we go. Call meeting to order. Rockport Planning and Zoning Commission, days November 14th, 2022. We do have a quorum. Yes. Item number 2, it is 5:31. Public hearing, open public hearing. Conduct a public hearing to consider request for conditional use permit to allow the use of a campground with 83 sites for RVs, 20 sites for tents and public bathhouse and laundry room located at 1030 Airport Road, also known as Fulton Outlots, Lot 38, being 14.7 acres, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, currently zoned R1, First Single Family Dwelling District. If there's anyone here to speak for this conditional use permit, you would please come to the...
Mr. Rainey, it's your turn to speak. Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, you're just in time.
Before he speaks, I need to explain the, if you'll pull up the original application, Mr. Raines originally applied for 83 RV spaces with 20 campground sites, and realizing that he would have to have all of that together, drawing and stuff for us, he wasn't prepared for that, so he's reduced that to the original 15 sites that were there originally with a laundry and bathhouse, correct? Yes, so that's why you got a big red X, and it's still the cup, so we didn't have to refile, he just modified the content.
So it's down to the
15 sites.
15
Yes.
sites. Okay. All right, sir, if you would tell us your name and address.
Michael Raines, 1030 Airport Road, Rockport, Texas. So it's actually there's 15 spaces. The RV park used to be Copano, Vista RV Park, and they are the 15 spaces that were already there previous. I'm just trying to reopen that portion now to get some income coming in, and then further expansion later as things progress. That's kind of where I'm at for what I'm looking to do at the park.
It's good for now. Thank you. Anyone else here to speak in favor of the conditional use permit?
My name is John Hart, and I live on Wishart Road. Okay. My name is John Hart. I live on Wishart Road, and our concerns are they going to be able to use Wishart Road for inlet and an outlet for all of these trailers and stuff coming down? Because we originally all bought our properties down there because it was a dead-end street, and that road is not really set up for a lot of traffic going up and down it. That's one of our concerns right there. What is going to be the entrance? Is it going to be on Airport Road, in and out, or eventually is he going to open it up and come in and out on Wishart Road too? Or what, you know? 83 sites is a lot of sites. He's going to wind up all the way to the back of the property, I'm sure, and they're going to use Wishart Road. And it's not even all the way through behind that property. It's gravel back there. It was some kind of stuff, I guess, from the airport they threw down there a long time ago.
Mr. John Clark?
Hart, H-A-R-T.
Hart, Mr. Hart, the public hearing, we cannot respond. We either speak in favor of or against, and then when it comes back up on the agenda for an action item, then we can answer your questions.
Well, nobody told me that.
I'm sorry.
Anyone else opposed? Like to say anything? And I've got 2 that were sent in. First is from Ted and Deanna Carter, 1010 Airport Road. In opposition, we strongly object to this proposed rezoning. Previously, there was a small RV park at this location. There was a great deal of noise, cursing, and disruption created by the renters, not even considering the additional traffic created by residents in the RV park. Airport Road is already adversely affected by traffic and litter brought about by persons using the transfer station. Airport Road is in perpetual need of repair because of the present traffic. We do not need to add an additional 83 resident or even 15 to 20 new residents to an already under-maintained location. Second one is from Larry and Judith Knox. They're at 1020 Airport Road. They're also in opposition, and they write, Fulton Outlet Lots is a neighborhood of larger lots rated R1 single-family dwellings affording privacy, peace, and seclusion, which is why we and our neighbors chose to live here. We think that's the way it should stay. The applicant for this zoning change knew the neighborhood to be residential when he purchased the property with no campsites or RVs present. We have many concerns about a campsite in the neighborhood. Concerns about major increase in traffic on both airport and, is that Wishart? Wishart roads, and upkeep of the roads. Concerns about safety of the residents, concerned about increased potential for crime, concerns about danger of fire, concerns about disturbance of the peace. For these reasons and many others, we are opposed. Okay. So it is 5:37. We conclude the public hearing and move to the regular agenda. Item number 3, deliberate and act on approval of the regular minutes of October 17, 2022. Has everyone had a chance to look over those minutes? And if so, are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? And if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I did notice one correction. Under staff members present, Andrea Hatman should be Andrea. I think her name is spelled incorrectly. Under the staff members present. That's it.
Any other corrections, additions, deletions? Would you like to make a motion with?
I'll make a motion to approve with the correction.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Blazik seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, deliberate and act on a request for conditional use permit to allow the use of a campground with 83 RV sites, 20 sites for tents and a public bathhouse and laundry room located at 1030 Airport Road, also known as Fulton Outlots. Lot 38 being 14.7 acres, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas, currently zoned R1, first single-family dwelling district. Comments, questions? Mr. Donahoe.
Can we ask the gentleman to come back and re-explain? It was my understanding when he spoke a while ago that he's reducing his ask. So I'd like to explain exactly to the commission what your request is for the current use of the property. I know you have future plans, but tell us what you're gonna do right now.
Well, currently, I was just planning on getting the 15 sites that had been previously up and running, just to create some income. And if it's okay, I don't mind addressing the gentleman's question there. Okay, very good, very good. Oh, okay, sorry. But I'm not ever planning on using Wishart Road as a entrance or exit. The airport was gonna be the main entrance. In fact, down at the end of the property where Wishart Road touches was hopefully going to be where my residence would be eventually, a small space back there. So I would be the one using Wishart, but not general use of the park itself. And looking at the park and looking and now being on the property as much as I have been, there's so many trees that I want to keep. I have no doubt that it's going to be less than 83 spaces. It's probably going to be more like 60, maybe 65, somewhere in there, that area. I would like to keep it smaller and more space between them and as natural as possible, but right, currently I'm just using the one in the 15 just to kind of get things rolling and get some income coming in. I didn't realize whenever I was working with my realtor and everything, and in fact, all the contractors that have been on the property helping me with bids and so forth, everyone's been very surprised that I haven't already been granted electricity just because it had already been a park, you know, in the past. Now, that being said, with one of the write-in concerns, I certainly understand their point of view, and I apologize to the committee and to everyone that I did not realize this had been rezoned. In fact, I was told that I was in the county, not even in the city, when I purchased the property by the real estate agent. So that's kind of a new one on me, and this is the first time I've done anything like this, so I'm learning a lot, and education can be quite expensive, as we all know, no matter how you get it. So I do apologize for that, but the idea is to create a smaller park, more friendly, you know, atmosphere with larger spaces and a little bit nicer atmosphere kind of a thing in the long run.
And you did receive the new RV park?
I did, yes. I'm looking at trying to put at least 40 feet between each space on mine, you know, and like I said, in this case, depending on where the trees and stuff are, I may never get that close. I may have to spread them out a little bit further, which I'm completely okay with, as long as, you know, I have enough spaces to make a little bit of a living, you know, but other than that, then that's where we're at.
Septic or sewer?
It has a septic, right now. I don't believe sewer is available out in that area. If it is, then I would certainly be happy to, you know, use the city facilities, but water and septic are not there. I'm on a well with septic, I'm not water and sewer.
A question for Mike or Carrie. How's it work zoned R1 currently?
When it's annexed, it's automatically zoned R1. That's just automatic.
So these 15 or so RV sites are from
They were
before
grandfathered
annexation?
at the time.
Got it.
But the ceased the use, I want to say in January of 2019, right around there somewhere. And whenever you stop using a non-conforming use, it's negated, and the property reverts to the zoning that's there,
And that's why we're here.
and it's R1. Yes.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
You willingly addressed all my questions that I had, so.
Well, I'm happy to answer any more.
Just for explanation, the ask has been reduced back to the original 15 sites of the previous RV park that was on the property prior to the annexation. The understanding is that's what the ask is for tonight, a conditional use permit to develop those 15 sites. Anything additional in the future, he would have to come back before the commission and ask for permission to expand his RV park beyond that. So the only ask for tonight is a conditional use permit for 15 sites at that address.
And they would have to be built to the current regs.
Right. Is the bathhouse already there, or would that be a new build?
No, that will be a new build. Yeah. Now, I will tell you, the opposition in writing by the neighboring property owner, where did I do that? Does create a supermajority vote. The property that is owned by the opposition is more than 20% of the overall square footage of the areas within that 200 square feet. So I believe the way it's computed here, there can only be one negative vote for it to pass? No, it's for the council, but we'll let them know when we send them, not you guys, but the council.
The supermajority vote would be for the city council. Whatever your
Okay.
recommendation would go to the city council. If you're recommending approval, then if council wants to approve or disapprove, they would be required to have a supermajority.
And just like anything else, this would go to the tree committee?
Yes, he would have to submit a tree survey, if he's taking any trees out, and it would go before the tree committee for approval, mitigation and such.
Okay.
Do we know how long the other RV park was in operation and how long it's been closed? I thought I read it somewhere, but I can't find it.
Well, I went back on our pictometry all the way back to 11 or 12, and it was there. But about January 2019 is when it's gone. So I'm not sure at what point in 2018 that it went away, but it was after Harvey. Well, it ceased, the use ceased, the property obviously is still there, but the use of the RV park was stopped in the city.
And the staff recommendation was to approve,
Because there was already one there.
correct? Okay.
So when we vote today, are we talking about the whole deal or just the 15?
Just the 15.
Because it's for 15 spaces with laundry and bathhouse only. I mean, you could build other structures if you chose with permits, but 15 spaces only.
Okay. The mosquito got my name. Anybody have a motion for or against? And we need to include verbiage that addresses the 15 versus the 83 sites.
Well, so there can be a vote. I'll make a motion that we approve it for the 15 sites.
Mr. Blazik has a motion, made the motion. Can I second?
I'll second, so we have a month.
Kim seconds the motion. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? It's
Let me
unanimous.
go back and repeat that. So, Mr. Blasek made a motion to recommend approval of a cut for 15 RV sites and associated structures that are required.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir. Back to regular agenda, item number 5. Deliberate and act on a replat submitted by property owners Scott and Vicki Andrews located at 108 West 6th Street, also known as Manning Addition, Block 135, Lot 12 through 16, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas.
So it's on the screen and the original plat back there, if you guys want to see it. I can bring it up to you.
Hello, my name's Elizabeth Brundrett, 1053 North Allen.
Ms.
And-
Brundrett, can you speak a little bit louder?
Yes,
Thank you.
can you hear me better? And this replat is coming to you guys.
Hold on a second. Okay.
This replat is coming to you guys because it was initially 5 lots, and the ordinance states anything involving 4 or more lots. So what they're doing is they're taking 5 lots and they're turning it into 2 lots. And I'm here if you have any questions.
So we're not closing any roadways. This is just strictly replat of 5 contiguous, I guess that's the word, lots,
Yes,
common
sir.
property lines.
Yes, sir.
Staff has determined that it is administrative.
Correct. Accurate, okay? Questions for Ms. Brundrett or anybody? Discussion?
I drove by it yesterday. I see there's a house built on one of them, and so looks appropriate. So I'll,
I'm just trying to understand, it was originally 5 lots and they want to make it just 2.
Two bigger lots.
Okay, I was worried. Thank you.
okay. I'll motion to accept.
Ms. Hesley, motion to approve
Motion to approve.
and a second. Further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, deliberate and act on a replat submitted by property owners Christopher and Kara Crowley, located at 500 East King Street, also known as Simon Oaks, Block 1, Lot 5, being 4.127 acres listed in the initial appraisal district as Simon Oaks, Block 1, Lot 4 acres, 4.619, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas.
Well, this one to you, come on. This has been replatted. This was originally just one big 5-acre tract. And the first 4 lots were replatted in, I already forgot. Let me find my notes. In 2020. And then it was replatted again using Lot 4 and divided it up to 4R, 5R, and 6. I don't recall. It's been a lot. Anyway, this is the 3rd replat of the property, and I just felt like since it had been replatted several times that you should see it. I find nothing wrong with it. It meets all the requirements. The setbacks are correct. They're not adding any utilities or major streets or closing any streets just because of its having been replatted already. It needed to come see you.
Questions? Ms. Brundrett?
Elizabeth Brundrett, 1053 North Allen, and I'm just here in case you guys have any questions. The Crowleys bought this entire block and then replatted it for the first time to kind of around the structures, and they've sold off some of those lots that aren't in the bolded line there. And then they came back and replatted them to make some of the lots a little bit bigger. And then now they are replatting these to, because they have certain contracts that people want certain lots. So, so I'm here if you have any questions.
Kim?
I'll break the silence and tell everyone that this does meet all the administrative
Thank you.
requirements for the request and staff's support.
Okay. Motion, anyone? Bashful tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. And a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 7, Deliberate and act on a replat submitted by Aransas County Navigation District located at 160 Cove, Harbor South, also known as Swickheimer, Block 256, Lot 64, being 17.466 acres, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas. Mr. Barrett.
Again, this involves more than 4 lots, so. But it does meet all the requirements.
This particular replat,
Pull the mic up a little bit.
I guess everybody's a
There
little
we go.
shorter than I.
Yeah.
It's not something that we really wanted to do because of the TECQ requirements that if a septic system crossed over various lot lines, that you'd have to replat and put them all under one lot. The way Cove Harbor was set up many years ago, it was platted in 50-foot lots so we could adjust the size of those leases according to the customer. And those customers have come and gone over the last 60-some-odd years. But because of the new TECQ guidelines, Rockport Marine, which is the leaseholder of this particular property, wanted to put in a new septic system. And of course, it would cross those 50-foot lot lines, which is forcing us to come and replat. I guess the downfall to that is if Rockport Marine is not the leaseor and someone does not need that much property, I will be back again to replat it into much smaller sections. Of course, we wouldn't go across the field lines of the septic system. But with that being said, my request is to replat this into a larger section to accommodate Rockport Marine's request to put in a new modern septic system. And part of this was driven by the county environmental health. I spoke to Frank, one of your staff members, and he thought we could probably get this done with a variance, but everybody's standing pretty firm when it comes to TCQ guidelines, which put me here this evening in front of this group. So I would appreciate the approval on a replat so we could get them into a new septic system. If you built a new building and you'd hate to see your guys have to walk a quarter of a mile to a bathroom every day. So, and they didn't really want to have a blue Skidoo can sitting out there for the next 20 years. So this is pretty sensible need. If you have any other questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
The property does meet all of the administrative requirements in the replat, and staff recommends approval.
And we appreciate going through the process.
Yes,
Like we all have
thank you.
followers, we know that, and we appreciate the fact that they came in and met with us to go over everything to ensure all TCQ requirements were being followed. So we support it.
And we want to do that as well. It just, sometimes our customers don't understand those delays, but it is the processes, and we're trying to make sure we adhere to that.
So how many lots are we replatting?
How many was that? 8?
So,
15 lots.
yeah, for 1 lot.
It made a lot of sense back in the day to have it in 50-foot increments because we could increase or decrease the size of that leased plot. But now with these different regulations in mind, we had to, I guess, accommodate and associate more lots into one leasehold.
I'm sure you thought of this, but is the septic gonna,
What's that?
is the septic going to occupy the whole, the
No.
entire fit?
No. But what we did do is replat to the size of this particular leasehold so it would match up, because who it really messes with in turn is our tax office, because it's based on improvements, it's based on the size of the lease plot that they're occupying. So having the replat take up the entire section in which that one leaser is now going to occupy made sense for not just us, but them as well.
Yeah, because I'm sure that if you thought of this, if Rockport Marine decides not to release, it's probably not going to be as easy to get replatted back to 15 lots as it is to.
That's just where we are.
That's where we are.
That's where we are now. They just built a new building on there. We've just given them a 20-year lease. I don't see any
So you
change.
and I won't have to worry about it then.
We probably won't be worrying about it.
There we go.
Little finality for us there.
Any questions, comments? Motion?
I move we approve.
Mr. Blazek, motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Hesley, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Hey, thank you,
Thanks, sir.
everyone.
Item number 8, deliberate and act on amending final plat submitted by Noah Ark Community Development Corporation located at 1601 Mathis Street, also known as Sphinx, Block 1, Lot 1, Rockport, Aransas County, Texas.
My name's Elizabeth Brundrett, and I live at 1053 North Allen. This is an amending plat. The only change from the previous plat is along 2nd Street. We're reducing the building line from 25 feet to 5 feet. And that requires a variance through P&Z. Carrie may be able to speak to this with a little bit more detail, but it's my understanding that the city put a stop order on this project because it was encroaching within that 25-foot building line. So this was a solution that the city and the developer came up with.
That's correct. The property has 25-foot setbacks on all 4 sides, which it does have right-of-ways on all 4 sides, but some of them are not even developed. So when they built into the setback on that side, I don't know if they got their stakes wrong or what, but it turned into a very big discussion. And that's what we sat down and figured out, that and the houses are up in the framing stage. So we agreed to allow him to cut that 25 foot on that side down to 5 foot, which still meets what he'll need.
Okay. I drove by it because I wasn't really familiar with that particular street. Since the other 3 streets technically don't, I guess they don't exist. They only exist on paper, the right-of-ways, but they're not physically there.
Well, 4th Street does.
I couldn't find it if it's there. Couldn't figure out how to get there.
Okay, sorry.
So 2nd Street is going to be the only access into this, it looks like.
That is the entrance side, yes.
Okay, and that's where we're reducing the setback.
And we call that a right-of-way, that means it's not been abandoned, is that correct?
They're dedicated right-of-ways. Now, he has also had to pay ADP to move their lines and their
Okay, so the utility easements have been adjusted accordingly.
theirs as well. So he's paying them to move theirs as well. A bit of a costly mistake.
Yeah, this was a compromise to correct a mistake that was made inadvertently. I don't think it was purposely done.
It was not
It was an
intentional by any
mistake.
means, no.
When we went out and discovered it, we had to put a stop work order. We got into negotiation with the developer, and this is the solution that we've worked out. It meets all the requirements for setbacks. They did have to pay AEP to move the transformers and utilities to be compliant. So everything that they're asking for is compliant.
How's it compliant with a 5-foot setback?
A side setback is 5, the houses, the actual street is down the middle. He's building,
You can have a 5-foot
entrance
setback in the rear
in the rear and the side.
and the side.
Mhm. But the actual street frontage is the street that he's going to build down the middle of the lot. So actually, Second Street, while that is where you turn and go in, is the side street.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he didn't build over the property line, he just built into the setback.
Into the setback, right.
But if for some reason, I mean, the street's not abandoned, so it's,
It's still a street.
so hypothetically, we could end up with a street with a 5-foot setback, is that correct?
Well, you have in other areas.
I'm sorry?
There are the same setbacks in other areas, because the main street for the project isn't Second Street, it's the street that
Okay,
he's building
okay,
down the middle.
okay.
The houses will all face the center of the property with the street built down the middle. And changing the setback doesn't change any of the infrastructure that he's putting in.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the street they are gonna use to get in there isn't drawn on this.
No.
It goes right down the
This is
middle of
just
the
the survey,
property.
the site, you don't put that on the plan again, so, but it's just not shown.
Okay.
So if we were to approve this would be like, unlike, or it would be like other plots of land or subdivisions.
Right, when you approve other subdivision layout.
Correct.
They're not specifically meeting the required that they can't because of other issues.
Right.
It's like a variance,
Correct.
but P and Z can approve that on a plat. You can't give a variance to somebody else, but when you approve a plat, you're approving those variances. That make sense?
The way the property is being requested to be replatted meets all the requirements of the city for the placement of the structures on the lots as they're replatted. Does that make sense? This is the city working out a compromise with the developer that inadvertently made a mistake. The other option would have been that they would have had to remove the existing structures that have been built and start over and move them back on the lots. By replatting, they meet all the requirements that the city has for building the structures on the lots as they're replatted.
On something like this, why haven't notifications gone out to the neighbors?
I'm sorry?
Something like this, why haven't
Because it's a plat, it's not a variance. So his 5-foot setback doesn't affect the neighbors. So if you're giving a variance for somebody to build next door to another property closer than what they're allowed to, it affects that property. But this is up against a street right-of-way.
This request does not affect.
It's only the city that it
Okay.
affects.
Okay,
so.
I'm good with that. Any other questions? Entertain a motion. Somebody like to make one?
Gee whiz, I'll make a motion.
Thank you. What's the motion? To approve?
To approve, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So Tom made the motion.
I made the motion. Yes.
A second.
Thank you.
Ms. Hesley has a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Looks like we have unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 9, discussion, consideration, and action regarding meetings restricted by holidays and other foreseen events.
Okay, so you have your new 2023 calendar in front of you. Get the backside here. And on the report, I've shown you that January 2nd is a city holiday, but should be the first P and Z meeting. So would you like to just hold the one P and Z meeting on the 16th, or would you like to reschedule the 2nd?
Do we have anything that we know for sure is
No.
gonna come up to be heard on that?
No,
That can't wait?
no. Well, and it doesn't matter because we're closed,
Okay.
yeah. But we could move it to another day, but we don't
Yeah.
have anything at
That's
this
what
time.
I'm saying. If we have something that needs to be heard prior to the 16th, we'd have
I
to pick
gotcha.
another day, but if we don't, then I would say let's just have the one meeting on the 16th.
Okay. That one. Cancel that one. And then the next one is September 4th, which of course is, why did that print upside down? What did it do? September 4th is Labor Day, and it would be the first P and Z meeting of that month. The next one is the 18th. Now, of course, we have no way of knowing if we have anything there or not, but I would suggest that we move that meeting maybe later in the week, and then if we don't have anything, we just won't have a meeting.
Okay. So you're thinking Tuesday the 5th, just moving it back one day?
You gotta look, check, what Tuesday is that?
Tuesday the 5th, yeah.
That's not a council.
No, council's on the 12th and the
It is January.
26th. Yeah, we can do that, if that's what you like. Is that what you want to do? Move it to the 5th? Okay. And then the next one is November 20th, falls in Thanksgiving week. October, November. And I know that, for instance, this month, we have one on the 21st, but we probably won't have one. We'll move it over to the very first, one in December, because it's Thanksgiving week. So how do y'all feel about that? Are you comfortable having a P and Z meeting the week of Thanksgiving? I know people go out of town. So it's up to y'all. If you want to
So
hold the
far
meeting
ahead.
then,
We can leave the schedule, and if we have an agenda, we can check to see if we can have quorum. If not, we can move the meeting or cancel it.
you want to just leave it and wait and see? Okay.
I would say
For
at this
instance,
point, it's
we
too
have
far
one this
ahead.
month on the 21st.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything scheduled for it, so, okay, we'll leave that one. And that's it. Now,
Okay.
do y'all know of any other days, meetings, dates that you need to look at? No?
Maybe I'll get a light.
That's all I got. Get this straight.
Item number 10, motion to adjourn. Anybody?
One question before we adjourn. We had talked about, since we're doing separate, public hearings.
Yes.
That one of us would, I guess, commit to be present at the next council meeting in case there's
Yes.
questions. So do we need to designate
Y'all need to draw
someone?
straws, I guess, or decide who wants to go.
That is, what date is that?
That's going to be next Tuesday.
I thought they
Oh,
canceled that
wait,
one.
they don't have one second. It'll be the first one in December.
one.
13th, I think.
13th.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting. Yeah, 13th. And I do believe we have a public hearing on yours December 5th coming up, Patty Johns. Yeah. Because then she'll go to the 13th also.
So we
Yeah.
have another
For instance,
P&Z
this
meeting
one
on the 5th?
tonight will go on the 13th.
Okay,
On December 5th?
so we have another P and Z on December 5th.
December 5th, yes.
Okay. So we can wait till that night to
And if you
designate
can,
somebody
you
then.
know, that's fine. It'd be nice to have a P and Z member at the council meetings when there's a recommendation from the P and Z, but it's not 100% necessary.
Yeah, it's not actually required, it just would be good. We'll be there, so.
Okay. I'd say we wait and hear the one on the 5th and then
And
talk about it.
Okay. You got it, so.
Aye.
I'll make new calendars and email them out to you. Here it is. That's what I was looking for, supermajority.